Primer is tending the vent with his thumb. This basically to help make a seal so that along with the dampened sponge helping to put anything out inside the barrel, as he brings the sponge out, you're going to hear a little thud, which for a split second means all the air inside the tube is sucked out. Without the primer tending that vent, you would not be able to create that seal. You would actually be sucking more air down on top to potentially burning material as he brought the sponge out, which is the exact opposite of what he's supposed to be doing in this whole operation. Sponge piece. Remember, it's always good for the people in this position to keep eye contact at least every little bit with each other to ensure that they are doing things in the correct manner and are paying attention to their job. Angle charge. All right. Person with the windstock. At this point, what you are going to do when you hear the command handle charge, you're going to take it and drop it right over there like that. Hard piece. Ram down, charge. That way then you can now bring the stock back up there. For our visitors joining us here, this is the sort of charge if we were going to load this gun for real. This is the sort of charge that the artillerymen or the infantry soldiers, as we are all here, helping them would be loading into the gun. You have a 3-pound cannonball in this case, from whence the 3-pound gun gets its name. It is fastened to a block of wood by iron bands, so the block of wood known as a sabot, the French word for shoe, and then that is fastened to the actual gun bag itself. This is what they're fixed ammunition. It's all fixed together and ready to go. It allows you to fire as quickly as possible because you get to ram both the ball and the charge of gunpowder down all at one time. But this limits you as to the range that you can fire the gun. This is mostly used when you're looking to fire at one set range and to fire as quickly as possible. The main way you are going to vary how far your ball travels is by the amount of powder you put behind the ball. So normally, in most cases, artillerymen will use unfixed ammunition where the ball and the wooden block or sabot are separate from the powder charge. And you'll first ram down the powder charge of the proper size that you want, and then the ball and wooden block afterwards.
So is this a fixed trajectory? They don't change the equal trajectory and change the range to it?
You could to a degree as well, yes. When the gun commander goes to actually aim the piece, you can actually, as you'll see in a minute, raise or lower the barrel and of course move the gun from side to side as well. Not that that's going to of course affect the trajectory much, but yes, you can actually elevate the rest of the tube. Pick and prime! What the primer is doing is taking a brass vent pick, a non-sparking metal, and running it down the vent hole to now rip open a hole in the powder bag. In the primer's box will be either paper tubes that are filled with gunpowder. What he's simulating there is the way that you open up these tubes. If you actually bite off the end and then pour the open powder down into the vent hole. He would continue to do that until there is a mound of loose powder sitting at the top. Out in the field, usually the artillerymen are going to use what's referred to as a quill, and that could in many cases literally be the end of a goose feather, the quill from the goose feather with the feathers clipped off of it, and they fill the quill full of very hot and flammable substances that will burn very quickly and very hotly, and that will be inserted into the vent hole instead. They were in some cases also using tin or other metal quills as well, same idea, just with rather than a natural goose quill, it's a small metal tube, and in that case you didn't always necessarily even need to use the pick then to rip open the bag. You could just put the quill in, that would puncture the powder bag, rip open the powder bag itself, and eliminate one. Hey game! In our case, because we are not artillerymen, we are not equipped with fancy sights that the artillery did have available to them that could be set on the end of the gun and used to do a little more exact sighting through, or a gunner's quadrant that an officer could hold up and adjust, or set on the gun and adjust to begin to get a more scientific and methodical approach to actually aiming the gun. We simply make our own sights by putting our thumbs together and sighting down the end of the barrel. Because in the end, even the best artillerymen sometimes are going to be plagued by the fact that the gun's just not always going to do what you want it to do, and you can put 3 or 4 shots in right exactly on the target, do nothing different at all for the next shot, and watch it go sailing right over. There are too many things affecting how the gun was going to fire to always be extremely precise. As far as actually aiming the gun commander himself will elevate or depress or raise and lower the barrel by use of the coin at the back, pulling the coin out to elevate or raise the barrel, and pushing it forward in order to depress it. The ammunition handler at the back, which I'm doing dual duty right now, at the command of take aim, would be taking hold of the tiller and would be moving the trail with the tiller back and forth, weighing the gun in whichever direction the gun commander had indicated. Alright, now the person who was stuck at this point, you now continue to face forward, but turn your head so you can see the gun commander. And the gun commander will use both a verbal and a visual signal, either the sword or a raised hand, to wait for the command fire and actually put the hand come down before you actually fire. And what you'll be attempting to do is to actually sweep the slow match across the vent, in that way keeping, hopefully, most of the slow match out of the way by the time it actually goes off and not bleeding off the entire length of the slow match. And also at this point, the gun commander gives the preparatory command of set, allowing the crew to know that the gun is fully loaded, primed,